Okay, so we are back for kind of a long one, and it's 2 really big errand days, so let's jump into it. We're starting to get into our beginning snowballing stages, so we'll do our first harvest to get us up to level 2 farming so that we can start making sprinklers and get our first major crop going. And so that's kind of the main focus of these errands today are doing our harvest, planting our first big crop, which is about 80 or so kale. And then we're going to plant our quality parsnips, or parsnips with quality fertilizer. Do some stuff for Lewis's birthday, just a quick gift. And we're going to go to the desert, since it is unlocked, but we're not actually going to go in the caverns yet. We're just going to go and we're going to get our totems and our food and maybe some staircases while we're there. And then we want to try and do 120 today, if not today, tomorrow, depending on our luck. That way when we have a good luck day, we can jump right into the caverns. But for now, we just have a lot of hoeing to do and a lot of planting. And this first day especially was like super heavy in the like farming department. And this is the pattern I almost always use for this first like major batch. And I think I said before, but basically what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I get level 6 farming by the very beginning of summer. And by doing that, I can make sure I have the skill I need to make quality sprinklers so I can get my whole like new farm in action as soon as summer 1 hits. And I don't have to worry about watering anything, because watering over 900 crops is way too time consuming and energy consuming. Whereas like today I'll have to water all 80 of these, but it won't really be that big of a deal. It'll just take a lot of energy, but I have the time, so it'll be fine. I don't even technically have to water. Oh, I do actually. So normally you wouldn't actually have to water today, but because I'm going to do strawberries on the 13th, I need to water so that my kale are ready to harvest by the time strawberries are in. And so yeah, that's what I did there. And then I want to do the quality parsnips so I can get all my quality crops done by the end of summertime and I don't have to deal with them in fall. You don't have to, but in this case I want to, just because I have kind of a lot of stuff that I really need to keep track of, and this will be one less thing I have to worry about later on. And it's already kind of starting to get a little bit more stressful, I would say. Like I'm starting to realize the actual scope of like how much stuff I need to get done, especially when it comes to not having like as many good luck days as I want in the coming days, and just things not necessarily going 100% to plan. But that's okay. We'll figure that out. I think everything's still good. My only worry is hopefully I have enough things planted that'll hit the level 80 farming. 80? Man, what am I don't even know where that came. Oh, the 80 KLGs. Okay. Hopefully I hit level 6 farming, because that will in fact be a run ender. But I think because I'll have like 80 strawberries and chickens and cows and stuff, that should be more than enough. And I don't think I'll have anything to worry about. Man, I really messed up some words there. And oh yeah, the museum, we'll get that in order pretty soon here. We want to get Krobus unlocked soon, but it's not going to be a big thing quite yet. We'll work towards it over the next week. We still have plenty of time to make him our friend, so. And we still need like dwarfs, the dwarf scrolls. And we'll have to grind those out at some point, because those get kind of rough. And we really need to start gifting the dwarf. But for now, yeah, just gonna run around giving folks gifts. And we gotta buy all our kale seeds, which is kind of expensive, but it's not nearly as bad as I guess, strawberries, which will cost us like 8 grand or something along those lines. And this will be the last, like, well, I guess this will be like the last major spring farm-based day, I guess. Well, that's not really true, because I'll have to plant a really massive, like, parsnip crop that I'll never harvest at the very end of this season. But I don't know. We'll talk about that when we get there. I did take a look at the relationships today and slowed it down a little bit so we can actually look at it and see where I'm at. And so, like, we have decent progress with about maybe half of the villagers, and then it kind of gets a little rough as we go further down. Like, a lot of these people have almost no progress, but it's looking better, I guess you could say, or it's looking decent for only 7 days in, technically. And I'd like to have my first like 10 heart or 8 heart like max out, ideally by next week, the end of next week, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. It might be 2 weeks before we actually start checking people off that list. And I did start keeping a spreadsheet, or I'm using a spreadsheet that is available online to keep track of all of my ingredients for the cooking achievements, as well as some of the ingredients that are rarer for the, what is it called? Crafting, like regular crafting. So we'll do, I mean, I'll maybe show that at some point. Right now it's not particularly interesting because I don't have a lot of the stuff saved up. But it'll be a lot easier to manage if I actually have like a functioning checklist instead of just hoping and trying to remember stuff, because that's no good, especially with my memory, which is known to be a little bit foggy, I guess, at best. But yeah, so this is a really, I mean, since we're not going to the caverns, today is a really good time to swing by the desert and take care of all this stuff so that when we actually can go, we don't waste any time. It would be kind of a shame if tomorrow was like a perfect luck day and we still had to wait until 10 o'clock to actually go via the bus, you know what I mean? So that's why we're going now. Plus Sunday is a good time to get staircases. And I guess that's pretty much it. It's nice to have a spicy eels now, or at least a more, like a steadier source of spicy eel. Before we got lucky and got them from Gus, but now we have a consistent supply, you know. That's something that we'll probably never ever run out of. The, what's it called? The espresso. We might run out of espresso here and there just because they're so reliant on diamonds, but it's hard to say. And then for the rest of the day, or not the rest of the day necessarily, but for a good chunk of the day, we're just going to farm out monsters. So we're going to just reset floors over and over again to kill duggies or insects or whatever, you know, just whatever we're going to do, as well as some of the dust sprites. So I'll show you just a little bit of that, but it's really repetitive and not particularly interesting. There is a good floor here. 61 is pretty good because you can reset it over and over again and just keep killing the same floor. It's not the best because it's not always dust sprites, and I'm not really looking to kill slimes right now just because they take a little extra time. But this is what I'm going to do pretty much over and over again. It's also a really good source of bat wings, which I'll need a ton of for lightning rods in the summertime because I need a lot of batteries. And the more batteries I can get, the better, because then I can get crystallariums and iridium sprinklers and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, as you can see, it's 10:40 now, and I've just been doing the same thing. I did get an ancient seed, which is nice, but I won't plant it until I have deluxe speed grow, which I should be able to get really soon. But actually, now that I think, I haven't planted it yet. I'm quite a few days ahead, and I still haven't planted it yet. So I probably should have just planted it today, and it would have been a week grown, but whatever. Ancient seed, I don't really need it. It's valuable, but since this is only going to be a 1-year save, like it's not that valuable, you know. Like I'm going to get a couple harvests out of it, and that's fine, but I'm not going to be able to get a full greenhouse or a full ginger island or any of that junk, you know. And so whatever. Anyway, right now we are going to 120 in the mines. That way, if we do have a good luck day tomorrow, we will be able to go to the Skull Caverns. Spoiler alert, we don't have a good luck day tomorrow, so we don't go, but it's worth the effort, you know. And I made it home in time, so. I need to start getting some of this stuff taken back home, because I'll abandon this chest pretty soon. Like there'll be, aside from like monster eradication goals, there won't be many reasons for me to come back here again. Oh, I'm just sitting here in the menu. Okay, good. I thought maybe I missed one of those like super long pauses. I'm just trying to decide what's the best thing to take home now. And really like the 17 copper bars and the 27 iron bars are probably the most useful. Because I want to be able to make my sprinklers first thing in the morning. That way I just have to water one more time and I'm done watering. I don't ever really want to have to water crops again until, I don't know, I guess never. I think I'll water like maybe some foraging seeds here and there, but otherwise like pretty much never, so. But yeah, bad luck, like I said. We gotta water real quick. We have our level 2 farming. I think. I don't know. I think I saw that pop up. I hope it did. If not, we'll get it. No, we did. So I'll be able to make the sprinklers and set them all up once I have all the material. And that's pretty much it. So just gotta water today. We're gonna build a barn. We can't get animals for a couple days because Marnie's isn't open, but we still want to build a barn. And then we'll get all the sprinklers out, hopefully. And we'll do a huge, like I said, a huge errand day again. Trying to hit everybody for gifts. There's no birthdays, but we still want to get some gifts going. And then we're going to just grind a bunch of ore. And I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, we'll do a little bit of organization and prep for Skull Caverns. And that's really the extent of what we can do today. The more I've been playing this, the more I've been realizing the difficulty of keeping track of gifts for people. I'm really used to doing all the friendship things like way later, like basically in the second year is when I start focusing on friendship. And by that time I usually have like 100 prismatic shards. And so I could just give everybody prismatic shards except for Haley, who gets coconuts. And that's it. So even though I know what most people like, or I know what most people love, but I don't know what most people like. So it's been like, I guess that's been my major struggle, is like coming up with what is a good universal like that I can get a ton of to give to everybody. And right now I've kind of defaulted to like salads and random fruit. Like cherries are a good one, because everybody in the game likes cherries. And like I get a lot of cherries for some reason in my cave. And that's been a good one. Crystal fruit is a decent one, but not everybody likes it, so it's kind of hard to keep track of like some people kind of like it and some people are neutral. But I don't want to waste any gifts on neutral stuff because like in this kind of run I can't afford that. I got another lobster there. I feel like I've gotten a lot of lobsters from that particular area. I don't know. I feel like I've collected like 3 lobsters now from that. But I don't know, whatever. I think that's all I need, and so I can finally stop dealing with those things. I'm also upgrading the hoe real quick, which I don't know if I mentioned that, but that is something I want to get done. I want to have a gold hoe before summer, ideally, just to make the hoeing process easier. I don't know if I ever mentioned before, but I did a 100 days video where I only made money off of crab pots. And I never actually finished editing it or anything. It was just so tedious. And so at this point, I like absolutely hate crab pots. Anything to do with them, they're the worst. Because what I would do is like, when I was recording it, it just takes forever because you get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of crab pots. And you have to manually empty them and rebait them every single time. Even if you have the perk where you don't have to use bait, you still have to manually empty them every day. And so it was like just a most like brutal, repetitive process. And it took ages. And I eventually just didn't do anything with it because it wasn't interesting, you know? And yeah, so now I can't stand crab pots. They're the worst. You can make a ton of money off of them though. If I ever get around to making that video, I'll show you, but it's, you can make tons of money. You can make millions, but it isn't fun. It's really not fun. So don't do it. If you're thinking about it, just don't do it. And, so yeah, anyway, I don't know what else I'm really doing right now. I'm just trying to get resituated with gifts again. I'm trying to revisit like who I need to prioritize. And I don't have like a permanent list. You know, I don't have like a list. I wish I had a list on my desk right now, like that said, hey, these are your groups and who you need to prioritize. Instead, I'm kind of just doing it a little bit willy-nilly, you know? Like trying to hit up the wizard when I can, because he's kind of hard to remember, even though I don't really need to mess with him yet. I might as well, like, if I have these days like this that I can kill time, I might as well hit up a lot of people and try and kill their quests while I give them gifts, you know, and try and make it worth the trip, so to speak. But it's been working okay so far. Haley's usually an easy one once you have a desert unlocked, just because coconuts are so plentiful. And that's when Sam becomes really easy too, because he likes the cactus fruit. Jody's expensive, and Vincent's kind of obnoxious because he likes snails, and I just gave him a bad gift right there on accident, which is whatever. He's at 0 hearts, I think, so it doesn't actually matter. But he doesn't like very much that I have a lot of. Like, he likes snails, which I can get a lot of, but I think I put my crab pots somewhere weird, and I never check on them. So, like, Vincent never gets those. And I guess eventually I'll have a bunch of grapes for him in the summertime. Like, Emily's really easy. She likes cheap gems, which is nice. But here's my update. Leah's really close. Clint's really close, which is weird. And, these guys might as well be nothing. They might as well be no hearts. Like Vincent, Sandy, I haven't even met yet, even though I actually went to the desert. She's gonna be kind of a hard habit to break, because I'm so used to going there just for skull caverns. Like, I'll have to find a way to work her into different errand days and see kind of how that goes. She's easy to gift, you know, she likes flowers, so you can give her like literally just daffodils and she's happy, so whatever. I don't know, what else am I gonna do today? I'll probably do a little bit of monster grinding. Even though I hit 120 and made the monsters harder, I can still do a little bit of grinding, or I can just take a lot of time to organize things out. But I still have 6 hours until I have to start organizing, so I might as well just hit up the mines and do at least a little bit of coal grinding potentially, or just whoever, you know. Like, coal is easy and I really need it, so I might as well take care of that. Eventually I will get these dust sprites taken care of. I want to say it's within the next 4 days. I will be killing every dust sprite I see with Monster Musk, and essentially taking care of my monster eradication goal in about a day or two. Because I've already been kind of working towards it, but what usually happens is it gets to a point where I just want to knock it out in one day to get that ring, because the burglar's ring is just so valuable. And what I actually do is I unlock it and I just forget to collect the ring for days. So be prepared for that, I guess. It's a very frustrating thing that I did, but it is what it is. I'm also like grinding for a little bit of copper too, because I need it for those tappers. And then now I'm pretty much just going to like organize my chests out and then run back and forth from the mines and here to get all my stuff in one location. It doesn't really do me any good having a bunch of random stuff at the mines. Like I don't need the chest that's there at all, so I'll just keep smelting stuff, get my sprinklers laid out, and try to be like all buttoned up tonight so that tomorrow, if we have proper luck, we can just worry only about skull caverns and that's it. We don't have to think about gifting. We just worry about getting to skull caverns and hopefully getting the specific things we're looking for, which is like a lot of iridium, obviously, a galaxy sword, hopefully some rain totems if possible, just little stuff. And luckily we had enough. We have like all the sprinklers we need, but we do have a few like outlier plants that still need to be hand watered. It's not really worth it for me to put a sprinkler on the far right or like 3 sprinklers just to get a couple cauliflower and green beans, so I'm not going to. And rice is something I didn't think about. I haven't been growing rice. I wonder if that's one of the crops that I need to be thinking about. I know you need it. You need to buy it. Like I know you can buy it from Pierre, but you probably have to ship it too. So I need to think about growing some rice, because I don't remember if I've done it yet. I'll have to check that out, because that's an easy one to accidentally forget. I'm also going to add a new chest, and that's just because we're starting to amass a lot of seeds, and so we might as well like get a little bit more organized, and that way we have more room in all of our chests, you know. So that's all we're doing for the last couple minutes here. This actually, I mean, obviously this takes way longer than a few minutes, but I just sped it up because it's not that interesting, you know. But now we don't really have to go back here, except for, like I said, monster eradication goals and for dangerous mines and stuff later on. And that kind of does it. I mean, tomorrow we'll go to the caverns and start working on the financial side of things. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I think the snowball is like adequately rolling at this point. Even though it's a little bit shaky, I think it'll start picking up and I think we'll start making some positive strides, I hope. But yeah, for now we got level 7 mining. Hopefully we'll hit level 10 mining tomorrow. With all the gold and iridium will hopefully be like picking up, you know, so we'll see about that. Level 10 mining is pretty important for the run. But yeah, so skull caverns tomorrow. And yeah, like I said, that's the beginning of the true financial grind. And I will see you all next time.